Hello everyone and welcome to Rob's Rogues, and today I'm going to hop out in front of the camera again and we're going to be looking at The World of the Dark Knight, the Batman book here that you probably saw on my Christmas haul video, and I just kind of ran through a couple of these things and I wanted to be able to give like a proper review for this book. And like I mentioned during the haul video, I've just started getting into this, so it's not going to be a official proper review. You can kind of get the idea of what type of book this is. It's basically just like an encyclopedia, a thesaurus, you know, whatever you want. It kind of reminds me of this book, the Batman Vault from 2009, which I've never really shown this on camera before. Also reminds me of the DC Encyclopedia, but it is basically that. It's kind of a whole history of Batman. This actually starts from the very beginning, from Detective Comics 27, and goes all the way through to, I believe, issue 4 or 5, referencing a few things from the New 52 of the Batman title, and, you know, Detective Comics and all the other books that came in and out and around it. But I just think this is such a good book. I think it's a must-have for any Batman fan, and you can kind of see some of the inside panels. This would be from Justice League #1, and it's kind of also a tech book. Also at the same time, they'll talk about gadgets and different things like that. And you can see they have talk about the bat suits and different types of variations that are in here as well. And I think it's just a really chock full book of general Batman history, and not only just Batman, but Robin and Nightwing and Huntress and Commissioner Gordon and Alfred. And it really spends a lot of time on every one of the characters pretty much through. It has, you know, some quotes from comic books and video games and movies that the characters have said as well. And I just think it's really cool to be able to incorporate all that into this book. This came out in 2012, and this book is just a really dense book, and I had mentioned it once before. Here's a Friends and Allies page right there that, you know, the DC Encyclopedia was out a couple of years ago, and I've thought about picking that up, but I really wanted that just because of all the Batman and Robin and Nightwing and characters that are in that book. And you get that all in here, plus a whole tech section, and a look at the Batcave. There's a whole Batmobile, every single Batmobile that has ever been in the comics, which I think is kind of cool. With the exception of, it does list a 2010 here Batmobile down at the bottom. It doesn't list the 2012 Batmobile that Greg Capullo did, because at the time of this book he hadn't designed that Batmobile yet. But his artwork for the Batcave is depicted in here, and it also touches on very important Batman storylines in here. You have Cataclysm, you have the Killing Joke, you have Hush, you have Nightfall, and I'm trying to go through some of these. It also goes through, like I mentioned, the important appearances of Batman and the Joker that are in here. So I do believe this is a must-have book for any Batman fan that is out there. Talk to Silver Age, Golden Age, Bronze. Like I said, there's character bios for, you have a New 52 Batgirl here, and it also talks about Cassandra Cain and Stephanie Brown and Barbara's original appearance as Batgirl. So I'm kind of running out of things to say here. It's just so dense, as I keep saying, but it also talks about other periods of Batman that I wasn't even either wasn't around for or wasn't reading comics at that point. And even, you know, Batman's evolution, when Dick Grayson first goes off to college, that Bruce actually seals up the Batcave and Wayne Manor and moves into a penthouse, as he thought, well, Dick's going off on his own, now I'm going to do my own thing, and we'll leave Wayne Manor behind, and actually goes through that whole story arc, and quick little bullet points, and tells him about going back to the Batcave. So things that I didn't even realize. And it mentions the Outsiders. You have the Dark Knight Returns in here. So any storyline, Batman R.I.P., anything you could think of, the big important issues are in this book, and they even kind of reference Arkham City, Arkham Asylum a little bit in this book as well. So I can't say enough good things about this particular book. Again, it's a definite must-have. The price was $24.99. I'm not exactly sure where my wife got that. She said she got a really good deal. I know she said she didn't pay the cover price on it. I think she actually went to Books A Million, and she said this was actually cheaper on the Books A Million online website than it actually was in their store. I think she said it was like 15 to 20% off online. So it's actually more expensive if you go into Books A Million and actually pick this up in the store than it is to actually buy it online. So I would recommend getting this online if you're thinking about it. I know it's kind of hard to review a book and flash through all the pages, but as much as I'm trying to spit out in this video, tell you all the things that are in here, there is so much more that's in this particular book. So I highly recommend picking this up. If you haven't got the DC Encyclopedia and you were kind of wanting that just for the Batman stuff like I was, you could kind of skip it and just get this. And I think this is a definite must-have for all Batman fans. So that's going to pretty much do it for this review. I did have one thing that I forgot to do in my Christmas haul video that was sitting across the room. My wife had actually got me this shirt for Christmas, and it says superheroes have issues too, and this is really kind of funny here. I'll kind of scroll through it. So I try and do that, but it has, for some of these, Batman has anger management. It's kind of funny. The Riddler's a know-it-all. The one we thought was really kind of funny was that Lois Lane is an enabler. The one my wife thought I'd get a kick out of is Robin down here is in denial, whatever that may mean. So it was kind of a cool superhero shirt. Darkseid needs a hug. So she got this at Kohl's store. You can find this. I think it was like $7 or $8. So that's going to do it for this review portion. I have one more review. I'll do the Converse shoes, and for that review I'll actually be behind the camera so you can get a really good close-up of the shoes. I'm going to be doing, so now for some announcements real quick, I'm going to be doing, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do a top 10, top 5, top 6, top 7 of my favorite things that I have reviewed in 2012. So we've got that hopefully to look forward to, and again, like I asked for some of the people in YouTube and my subscribers and the people that I subscribe to, is to do Christmas haul videos. I imagine most people will kind of do a top 10-ish type of a list for 2012. So again, let's see if we can't do something like that. We can share all of our favorite things that we've gotten, whether it be books or clothing or action figures. As you can kind of see their legs up here at the top, and we'll kind of maybe do it that way and share our top 10s, if you will, whatever number you decide to pick. I'm going to be doing more probably on camera type of reviews. I may start getting into do some comic reviews, but I've kind of decided that I'm going to do those as a whole story arc as opposed to maybe single issues. And the first one that I think I'm going to do is the Death of the Family story arc that Scott Snyder is doing, and all corresponding books that go with it. And I'll just kind of do a general overall summary, because I enjoy talking to people about comics, and I enjoy being in front of the camera as much as it is behind it. And this last year I've been almost strictly behind the camera, and doing Who Reviews the Reviewers kind of got me out from behind the camera doing this type of stuff, getting a chance to talk to everybody. So hopefully that'll be cool, just do something a little bit different, and I'll include this in part of my channel. It won't be every single video where the action figures will be, you know, strictly behind the camera, and this will be more getting a chance to talk one-on-one. So those are the couple things that I have coming up. I was going to do the Justice League box set. I was going to try and go through those so I can maybe get those into my top 10, but I've decided I'm going to do the Justice League box set starting in January, and that way I can do all 7 figures and do them, you know, justice, if you will, for the channel. So hopefully those things are going to be cool for you guys to watch and see. I've got some other things, and I have a video request of somebody asking to see my Batman and Robin figures. So I think I'm going to dig all of them out, and I'll do a gigantic, you know, video of every single Batman and Robin figure that I have. And so those are a couple things coming up. And I've been talking about it this year. This past year, 2012, has been the 20th anniversary of Batman the Animated Series. And I kept saying I was going to do it, but I never got around doing it. There was always something else coming out at the time. So starting in 2013 in January, after I get through the Justice League, I'm going to do Batman the Animated Series. All of my figures, play sets, vehicles and everything, clear from the very first figure all the way to the very end, and I have all of the first set of figures, and I have most of the last set, and a bunch in between. So that is something I'm going to do. Hopefully people will like that we'll kind of spend some time going through the Batman animated series toy line, and maybe go into some of the Batman Returns, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, all those type of figures, Batman and Robin, Batman Forever, as I have a whole section of just Batman and Robin figures to go through. As I'm going to try and slow down a little bit on my buying. I've bought a lot of figures in 2012. Of course, there's Arkham City Wave 4 that is coming out. You have Nightwing, Talia, a highly articulated Batman, and Deadshot. I'm going to pick that up. I have another Arkham City Robin to get, and I would like to get Darkseid. So that's quite a bit, but I'm going to try and scale back some of my buying and kind of fill some other things in and do some comic book reviews and things like that. So that's what's coming up in 2012 for Rob's Rogues. I'm also still doing Who Reviews the Reviewer Season 2, and they should be doing deliberations on our second video that we have posted. So you can go to Geekvolution and check out their page, and that's where Who Reviews the Reviewer is being done over there. So, with all that being said, I've got one more review for 2012. That'll be the Converse Batman and Robin shoes. I'll take a little bit of a break, celebrate the new year with the family and friends, and then come back just a little bit after New Year's, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, something like that. Get into the Justice League box set, and we'll kind of start from there and maybe get into Batman the Animated Series and a few of the other things as they kind of approach. So as always, thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate it, and hope you have a happy new year, and we'll see you guys probably tomorrow for one more video, and then again in 2013. See you everybody. Bye.